anything that comes through, my intention is it's for your best and highest good, the most helpful and pertinent information. Sorry, there's a rainbow this
I was
way in
just
my
going to say, do you
face.
have crystal in your
I
window?
have
Talking to rainbow?
prisms in the windows, and it's this time of year.
Oh,
I haven't reoriented yet. I love it, but it is a little distracting to me.
No, it's okay. I
I'll
love
get
it.
over it. Is there a question you want us to start with or area
Um,
to look into?
So I have an opportunity for a trip coming in February to do like a little retreat in Sedona. And it's just a lot of money. So I'm like, I keep, like my brain versus my heart. I'm like, I really want to go. It's, but I just can't, my husband's self-employed, we're self-employed, and I'm just, it's winter's always tough. He works
yes.
so I'm just like, okay, will I be able to manifest enough abundance to be able to make it so I can go for then, you know what I mean? And just trying to see if that is the right trip for me to go on and spend that then, or will something better come about through the year, you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to sit with it. Like I've pulled some cards and it's all good, but I'm just like, I'm still like in my head, I'm like, oh God, but it's like after the holiday, like
yes,
the money, the mental side of like,
yes,
doesn't seem rational. So just we'll see what, if anything comes up that maybe can clarify a little bit and
yes, that. Hopefully so. And I think that's a wonderful question. All right. And I will keep my eyes closed periodically just because that helps me to tune in. Taking in another deep breath and tuning into the beauty of the place where you live. And not just the beauty, but the gratitude for the structure of it, the security of it, the safety of it, the warmth as we get into the cooler times, and the roof over your head, and the things that you've arranged in your home to make it feel sustaining to you, feel nurturing to you, feel supportive for you. So I feel a sensation that to me feels like a loss that has happened. I'm not exactly sure yet how long it has been. And the way it feels is almost like you lost something and then there's this like you really wanted to hold on. I don't know if you've had a miscarriage recently or if that would be a personal thing for me to ask you. So whatever your own personal preference, you don't have to share beyond what feels comfortable to you. But to me, it feels somewhat of that kind of loss of, and it might not be, a loss of a growing child. Maybe it's a project or expectation of a relationship or something. But I keep on feeling like below the surface, there's a lot of sadness and grief and missing of what could have been. So is there anything like that that's been going on for you?
Yeah, there's actually two things. And yesterday was a big release day for me. So basically grieving the lack of support from family as I travel this new journey of healing from depression and sharing my story. It's not a subject that's people like to talk about or even acknowledge. So dealing with that and kind of the lack of support I received during and then during the healing process, even though I've gone on to do beautiful things and build a business from that and write my story in a couple books. And so that is something that's really, heavy. And then I think probably what you're picking up on is like my mother. We had a really big bond and she hasn't been in my life to help support me on this journey of motherhood. And that is like constant grieving because she's alive and we had that connection before in our life. So it's just, I think just, the grieving of blood family not being here to support me in my life and just realizing and trying to release that and cut the cords from that. It's been a struggle lately.
Yes. Yeah, I can tell. Does it, so I know you, as you said, you've dealt with depression and healing from that. Is there a feeling with the grief of how it feels to me when I'm experiencing it is almost like I really want to move on from this grief, because if I sit with it for too long, I'm concerned it could
Mhm.
spiral into depression. And
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I was actually just telling my husband that yesterday, like when I have, I mean, I'm an emotional, intuitive, empathic being and
Yes.
sensitive. So all those things, and I am fine with showing emotion. I have multiple days a week. I mean, not even a week, but lately it seems like a week, but a month I have releases and I cry, and it's just part of my life. I'm used to.
Yeah.
But yesterday going through that, I was telling my husband that, yeah, like sometimes those feel like me spiraling down into that depression. I just don't like the feeling of it because it makes me so like hopeless that
Yes.
I just tell him, I'm like, I really need to like focus on cutting those cords. They can still
Mm-hmm.
be in my life, but they can't give me that support that I need. And I'm just grieving that loss of not having that. So it
Yes.
consumes me because I feel
Mm-hmm.
so big. So yes, just trying to not get to that point because I want to. It sounds weird, but when you probably struggle. Well, I don't know. I can't speak for you, but people that are intuitive and all this, like it seems like since we take on everything, even though we protect ourselves, like it's harder for me to be fully in the moment of feeling joy because I feel
Mm.
so much. So it's hard. It takes a lot of work for me to feel joy, even though everything around me can be good. It's just all that other stuff that comes at me that I put on myself and I feel and take on from others. It's hard work to be happy and joyful. So I want more of that. I want that to change. I want to make that something that I can look forward to in the future instead of feeling everything so emotionally and have it bear down on me. That makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Yes, it does make sense. Yeah. And so one or two of the things I'm going to look into is how can you feel the joy more
Mhm.
easily? Because I, not to brag, but I feel a lot of joy. I'm kind of, I wouldn't say bipolar because I don't want to, what is it, minimize somebody else's experiences, but
Yeah.
let's just say I feel things intensely.
Mhm.
High highs and high lows.
Yes, that's how I am. Like, and it
Yes.
doesn't, I want to be like even, you know what I mean? Like, not
Mm-hmm.
so, but it just
Yes.
might just be, it's just part of my
Yeah.
journey, like I'm not going to
Yeah.
be like others where they're, show extreme excitement and just so overjoyed all the time. Like, you know what I mean? It takes kind of a lot for me to be like, wow, that's so cool. Like, if I saw a famous person, I'm not one of those people like, oh my God, oh my God. I'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
cool, they're just a person. Like, how, like, that's
Yes.
really neat. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think, but then there are times where, yeah, I have those high highs and low lows, and they really affect me. And then when I'm on a high, and then all of a sudden something happens to bring me down, I'm like, oh, it's like I wish I could have
Yes.
just stayed up there a little bit longer and not been like
Yes.
pulled down. You know what I mean? It's this constant ebb and flow of just, which I know is life, but it seems
Yes.
like it affects me more and it like gets to me more. Like I just need
Yeah.
to be able to brush it off easier, I guess.
Mm. Let me ask you. So I don't know if this is you or someone else in your family, but I'm getting this image of the stirring of the pot. Is there somebody in your family who either constantly brings up, oh, well, Julia's doing this and she's not like how she used to be? Or do you let your attention go back to, oh, it used to be like this and that was then, and now it doesn't work like that? Like, is there anybody, because this stirring the pot thing I'm getting feels like it's almost like the loss and or friction with who you are now and who your family is and how it used to be. It feels like a wound that keeps on getting reactivated again.
Yes. So my son and I, it's
Mm-hmm.
him. Like he has the energy of how my sister was or is,
Mm.
that Taurus that argues with everything, disagrees,
Oh.
very argumentative, and it opens trauma and wounds from my childhood that I still haven't like been able to.
Yes.
So it does exactly what you said. It's like a constant, like I'm trying to heal, but then that like brings me back and it gets me into like anger and, like
Yes.
not who I am,
Mhm.
but he triggers that.
Yes.
So yes. Yeah.
Gosh, gotta love those children.
Yes.
Mine, the reason I'm a psychic now is partly because of him. I mean, I had those skills but because of trials and tribulations with my son that made me go into this path
Mhm.
fully, and not because it was so wonderful, but because of the challenges. So
Yes, it's been a challenge. And then, with me going through the depression and after my daughter, because he's the oldest, and then I had my daughter, he's still, after 6 years, still very jealous of her, like just can't get over the
yes.
fact he has a sister. So that
Yeah.
causes friendship. And I was the youngest child too. So I know what that is like to have an older sibling treat you like that. It sparks all kinds of like just anger and like, don't treat her that way. Like, and and he's so kind and is so great. Like, I almost feel like I might have ruined him by going through depression. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he's not ruined. If he wants to be ruined, he will have full opportunity to do it himself at some point in his life. And I believe our children choose us. And so and just to share a little bit as well, for me, with both of my children, I had various levels of, it wasn't postpartum depression. It's another condition that has the same symptoms, dysmorphic milk ejection reflux. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'll put some links, I guess, when this is on YouTube for people who are going through stuff, because there's all kinds of things that people don't even know about. But anyway, same symptoms, as some of the same as postpartum depression. And so for a little while with my daughter, I just thought, wow, I was going through this dark period for a period of time in her life that were impressionable years. And yet I think if you zoom out and look at your life and you think, okay, these children wanted to be with you, they chose to be with you. And if they chose that from a place when they're not in human form, when we have more awareness, because, in human form, we only have so much awareness of the whole universal picture, but outside of human form, you have more. So they knew going in, I got this mom, she's got all these great qualities, and she's got all these other great qualities, which might not look great, like depression doesn't look great, but you going through what you did led you on a journey, caused you to grow. For whatever reason, that is an essential part of their life path, their life history too. Yeah.
Yeah. And my friend told me at some point, she's just like, maybe this is setting him up. Like, who knows? Maybe his wife will have postpartum depression and he needed to see what it was like living that so he could help support her better. Like, there's so many, you don't know what is going to come of it, but it's just part of his journey, my journey, and it will unfold down the road. We don't know, but hopefully it will be in a positive way that it helped, even though it seemed like such a dark, negative time, but
yeah. So, all right, let's see. Okay. I'm going to see where else this goes that'll be the most helpful for you. So I see that, because I saw he was stirring the pot, and I didn't see that it was him, but I knew that someone was. And it also feels like you're stirring the pot, not consciously, but so one thing that I'm getting that could be helpful, I know you're working on cutting the cords with your family in that situation, and I think we'll come back to that. But with your children, if you could, in a way, like cut the energetic cord of, I know what it's like to be him. I know what he's going through because I was the younger sibling and all that. I feel that that's bringing in, how do I put it? sometimes I talk about it as friction, but it doesn't feel like that. It's almost like you're bringing in extra stuff, extra energy to that dynamic because of what you've gone through that isn't necessarily what they're going through. Because you, for whatever reason, your life path that you had and your desire to support your children, let's say we fast forward 25 years and your children are going through postpartum depression, or their partner is, and or they have a life change that feels very dramatically different than what you expected. My sense is you're committed to supporting them no matter what. Mm-hmm. So you have already, I'm getting tinglies about this. Mm-hmm. You've already made a decision with how you are being a parent and guiding these children and being intentional with your energy and how you raise them, that there's a level of respect and commitment to their ability as individuals to grow in their own way, that I think, and I don't know if this is a conscious decision or unconscious, but it feels very clear that because you have done that, yes, they're going to have their own struggles, they're going to have their own dynamics, but it's almost like you've set them on a radically different path and better path than you were given. So to some degree, I want to remind you of that, because that in the difficult moments where he's doing something or she's doing something that might make you feel like, flashback, whatever, I would less worry about their dynamic and more, if you can, be like, okay, it's time for me to like step back, take thought. Mom needs a timeout, let yourself go deal with it in whatever way, because, and to me, it feels, I know when my kids trigger me, a lot of the time, there's no reaction time. They trigger me and then whatever's happening. Yep. And so I'm feeling like that rush of energy through my body now of thinking, I know, 8 times out of 10, 7 times out of 10, you might not have the ability to be like, well, let me just go take a break because I'm feeling activated. It's fine. Even if it's after whatever, if there's a blowout or whatever, and you're like, well, that was bad, and now this and that, even if it's after the effect, letting yourself go calm down, reminding yourself, even saying things like, I'm an amazing parent, I'm setting my kids up great, they're so lucky to have me, I will always respect their own individuality, what I'm trying to say, because I deeply feel that the gifts that you're giving them are so wonderful in terms of the type of parenting you're doing is going to let them be the humans that they want to be. And there's a lot of people who we have parental pressure and societal pressure to be a certain way. And it feels like you're not going to give them that pressure. Mm-hmm. You're going to truly support them. And in a way, they're supporting you by giving you these triggering moments, but then the time to go heal, to go rewire, to go calm down. And then you're still going to have that good relationship with them. Yeah. How does that feel?
Yeah. Because just clear, some of the things you said, my husband and I have chosen to do things differently. In raising our children, we both came from the childhoods, you grew up outside, go in the woods. I grew up on a river, just letting kids be kids. And that's what we're doing. We don't even have a TV. We used to, it broke and we just didn't replace it. It's just we don't do electronics here, and just trying to let our kids truly be kids. But also teaching them what work is too. We do our own firewood with the tractor still. We do, you know what I mean? Just raising them different than what the society norms are, which is very hard. I mean, people think, oh, how lucky are you? No, it takes
Oh yeah.
So much work that I don't think people understand. They just think, oh, they're so lucky. Like we bring them to a nature-based charter school, but it's up north and it takes a long time to get there. And it's a choice that we've made. And it's not easy. It's a lot of commitment. It's a lot of time. And it's a lot of like really standing your ground to make sure that you stay on this path and not veer off. Even though you have all that society pressure, you have the pressures of their peers at school, like with video game, you know what I mean? And it's very hard, but we've made that decision that that's what we want. And sometimes I feel like some people look on just thinking, oh, it's easy. And, you know, I've heard comments like, oh, I wish so-and-so could do that or have that opportunity. It's like anybody can have the opportunity. It's just what the parents choose, what's important. If they're going to be selfish and they don't want to take the time to do that stuff, then it won't happen. I mean, you have to make a life choice to do stuff. I mean, it doesn't just happen. Like you have to make it happen.
Yes, totally.
Anybody has any choice or opportunity as anybody else. It's just a matter of making it happen. So I also feel like, you know, some people looking at it just like, you know, don't understand what it takes.
Oh yeah.
To maintain and to do all this. Like it's just a lot. Like it just sometimes it's just a lot. Like it's a lot of pressure.
Yes, it is. Do you ever let yourself have a goof off day, either by yourself or with your kids?
Yes. Like our kids, we do that. I mean, there's lots of stuff that we have to get done just because we have, you know, where we live and, you know, try to.
Oh, but I mean, just you.
Oh, yes. So I'm learning to do that.
Good.
Like I am learning to take days for myself because I used to do everything to the point of just exhaustion and everything for everybody else and not a lot for me. So this is the first year both kids are in school. So I'm learning. I'm like, you know what? I deserve to take some time. I've been a stay-at-home mom for 7.5 years. I've run the rat race. I have created 2 businesses. I deserve a couple days here and there just to breathe and just to not do anything.
Yes.
And it's hard because I still feel a little guilty, but I know that it's what I need for me to be the best I can be as a mom, a wife, and for myself.
Yes. And I love that you're doing that. And guilt is a choice. I know a lot of people don't think that way, but I have yet to meet a dad who's like, gosh, I'm so guilty that I just sat back and watched football for 4 hours.
Yeah.
I'm so guilty that I didn't get up and take the kids to school or whatever. I literally have never met a dad with dad guilt, which tells me it's unnatural. You know, guilt is not a body part that we're anatomically born with. That's one of my, what do you call it? Soapboxes.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're taking time. I love that it feels like some of it's resting. I feel like at least once a month, you need a goof off day. That's just totally fun, whatever feels frivolous and fun to you. And I'm glad that I'm hoping you're taking some weekly times. Maybe it's not a whole day, maybe it's a morning where it's like really filling up your cup, because the other sense I get is it's working through grief is work, raising kids is work, having a business is work. And that's a lot of work and not a lot of enjoyment and pleasure and blooming, you know, like every plant, it has its rest time, it has its downtime, and you know the plants aren't guilty about getting a little extra sunlight. Yeah. Are there things that you can identify that would feel really fun, like a goof off experience for you?
So I just had one Sunday.
Oh, good. What did you do?
So I got up before the sun rose and I went for a walk. We live in the country, so our mailbox is at the end of the road. So I went for a walk by myself, listened to a couple witchy podcasts and came back, put a mud mask on, took a shower. My husband went off with the kids because he was helping my in-laws do some roofing, and they were doing a pumpkin painting party. So he took the kids, and then I got together with it. Well, actually, I had a group meeting for, just a women's group that I'm in, that it was, just sharing and celebrating with each other, sharing your, like, what good things are happening in your life. And then I went to a vintage market with a friend. So,
I love it.
I chose that day. Nope, I'm just doing what makes me happy, what fills my soul, and what, just makes me happy. So that's what I did. And it's been a while since I've done that, like, and had the day to do that. So
yes.
I'm trying to make a point to do that more. And then every day I want to do that, like, just make time to sit down, have some tea, and pull cards for the day. Cause it kind of, like I said, that whole joyful thing, like, I need something to help get me set on the right foot.
Yes.
So, like, pulling cards in the morning and just having that inspiration to get me through the day is something we suffered with COVID. That's why I had to cancel the last appointment.
Yeah.
Like, so it's taken a while to get out of that and for me to feel good again and get energy. So during that time where I just rested and purposely didn't do anything because I wanted to just get better.
Good.
I made that time to do that every morning, and that habit stuck. So now every day I'm in the habit of doing that just from the last couple of weeks. So that is something that I'm proud that I am finally doing after years of just me wanting to do, like, make sure I incorporate myself, because I'm always doing for everybody else. And I cut myself out of the equation because that's the easiest thing to do.
Yes. And let's just say it was the easiest thing to do. Now it's going to be the hardest thing to do.
Yes, we're trying to change that.
Yeah. And so one thought could be, you tell your partner, the last Sunday of every month now, that's my day. We always know, it's always set in stone. I'm doing my thing. You're in charge of the kids. C'est la vie. This is life. And I think, I really think having a monthly day like you had, and also letting yourself explore, because part of what I think is there's a few things that I think that's making the grief stick around longer than it needs to, or the loss still feels so palpable, is I'm almost thinking of, like, if there was this stagnation in a river, there's not the new water flowing in to wash out the stuff. It's just a little trickle. And so bringing in a day a month where it's just all about you, goof off day, you have no responsibilities for business or parenting, is such a huge thing. And you've been, a stay-at-home mom. I did a similar thing for a number of years, and your day never stops. Like, you're around the clock. So you've really
have a doctor's appointment. You cannot go anywhere or do anything alone. It's just constant,
Yes. So you've really banked quite a lot of time, paid time off. You've banked a lot.
Yeah.
So if you want to think about it, if stay-at-home mom was a corporation, you would have many weeks of paid vacation just waiting there to be cashed in. Yeah. So having one day a month just for you. I love that you have this daily practice too of pulling the card and having a moment. And I think also exploring the other thing I think is, I don't know what your childhood was like, but I don't feel like it had the level of joy or happiness that your soul desires, or maybe it was good enough, but I feel like whatever happened, it feels like now when you look at kind of your life before this healing experience, it was kind of just okay. And that's why more joy and exuberance about life feels like it would really revitalize you and give you more energy. And back to, so now I'm kind of circling around back to the Sedona thing. And I can look into it more in a moment, but one of the things that I'm curious is in my ideal scenario for you, if you're taking a trip that you're spending money on that's a retreat, it would be something that you are so pumped to do. Have you heard about Talk to the Trees? This book is written by the trees. I channeled their words for you so that you can reconnect to the calm, the peace, the wisdom of the trees, the wisdom of the forest. Bring it into your daily life. Every chapter is short and includes words from the trees and then an actionable, applicable exercise from me. That's something you can journal about or dream about or meditate about so that you can bring the wisdom, the calm, the groundedness, the resilience of the trees into your life. Get your copy of Talk to the Trees. It also makes a great gift. You're just like falling over yourself, booking the ticket when you first see it, or that you're telling your partner, I don't know how, I don't know why, but I'm there. And I don't like, it gives me chills thinking about that. I don't really feel that you feel that level of, I gotta be there about Sedona. And so it's making me wonder, maybe there's something else that you don't even know about that, like, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, the Sedona thing is a 6.5. Like, it's good, but what if there's a 9.5 that you're saying, I want to hold out for this 9.5 or 10 level retreat that is a similar cost or lower or higher, but who cares, because you know that you really, really want it. How does this all feel? What does that make you think?
Yeah, so there's so much going, because the Sedona retreat is with people I love. One of them is a fellow author that I really bonded with. I'm really close to her. So she's running it with one of her guides that she works with.
Cool.
And it's all about letting go, which is super, like, that's what I need to, that's like my next step of healing is learning to let go of past things. And another really good friend of mine is signed up to go. So I know it'd be great in there, but yeah, something is holding me back. Like I'm like ready to sign up, but then I'm like, no, just something doesn't quite, like, I don't know if it is just in my head with the money thing and it just, I can't justify it. But then there's this other retreat, like, so there's 2 retreats I like have opportunity, but the other one I've just already crossed out. But that is the one where I'm like, my soul just wants to go so bad, but it financially, like, I just absolutely can't do it. Like, it is a pilgrimage. Did I say that right? Pilgrimage in Ireland. And I'm so drawn to Ireland, and I have Irish in my blood, and I'm just so, ever since a child, like something within my soul wants to go. There's something. So, but the cost is just too much. So I know, I don't know. So I don't know. Like, I just like, and the thing is, like, I've manifested this. Like, I've wanted my whole life to feel like I belonged and had that circle of friends and had opportunities like this to go to retreats. And it's like, now I'm finally in that spot. I'm getting too many options where I'm like, oh my goodness, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, here's what I heard, and I'll say this and then we'll have to wrap it up. I heard that there's one that is like, the hell yes, if there's a hell yes type thing, the 10 that's, but it costs a lot of money. So that's and then there's the one that's pretty good because there's friends and people you like. So here's a possibility that I want to put out there. How about you contact the people running the Ireland one and say, are there opportunities to come along as an assistant, to come along as a volunteer, blah, 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 with a different price point, or see if there's another option that you can experience that, but not at the cost, because there could be, but are they going to advertise those in their advertisements? Probably not, because they want the people paying the full cost.
Yeah.
But, or maybe there's a waiting list that you can get on and somebody paid half and it was non-refundable. So you just have to pay the other half. I don't know, but I love the idea of you opening that back up and opening yourself up to say, what if it could be possible? What are the ways it could be possible? And yeah, even as I'm feeling that, saying that, I'm getting the tinglies all over, and opening up those channels of it, and letting yourself also dream. So this one Ireland pilgrimage sounds amazing. Is there another one happening 6 or 9 months later that's either cheaper, or you'll have more time to save up for it, or whatever? Like, I really like the idea of you saying, I'm going to Ireland, whether it's 2023 or 2024, this is my destiny. So let's let it come in. And then once you've committed to that, seeing and sitting with that feeling for a little bit, see, do the other ones feel like this is another part of my path, or is my path only like this big thing that I want to aim for? Because, and who knows, similar with the one with your friend, you may also want to inquire, hey, do you need a helper, set up, take down, whatever, assistant? What if I come, but I just pay for lodging and flight, but not the actual retreat fee? Like, I'm getting this feeling of, how do I put it? Not just taking things as they're presented by the people running the events, but getting a little bit creative and curious, and letting your mind start to open up. Well, if I was going to make it possible, how could it be possible? And is there a way that I can kind of a la carte the experience to make it exactly what I need? Because I know that you're saying you need letting go. And I hear that, but to me, the way the loss feels is almost feels like you've let so much go. I don't know if you're ready to let anything else go before you fill up with joy and happiness, and then can let more go.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and because I'm also thinking, what if you went to the retreat and you just hung out with friends and had 3 goof off days, but you don't do the heavy stuff of Sedona? You just, I mean, oh yeah, this is, now I'm getting goosebumps again.
Okay.
What if you just go and explore Sedona and have dinner with your friends and whatever, and kind of like flirt around the edges of letting go, but don't, because the other part of it to me is, this feels like enough of an emotional stuff that I think part of you is also like, great, now I gotta go do letting go work, and I'm already doing all this work. And not that I think this is conscious, but I feel that one of the things holding you back is, maybe it's a logical thing of, I think this is the next step, but I don't know that you actually feel like doing that, because you have greater needs beyond letting go, which is filling that cup, really honoring every amazing thing that Julia wants. And Julia tours Sedona, like kind of like Debbie does Dallas, but Julia tours Sedona. And I don't know, that might be a porn movie, so I'm not saying, that kind of adventure, but but just, I get this feeling of, yeah, maybe you're called to be there when your friends are there, but you have a totally different experience that's just seeing, what do you call it, meteor showers, and shooting stars, and the desert, and you just, take walks in the desert and see lizards and cacti and eat really good food, and then you connect up with your friends, and then you go do your own thing, and then well, the money I would have spent on that retreat now goes in my Ireland fund. And anyway, that's kind of, I'm opening this up because I feel there's ways for you to have what you want that'll make you want to step into it, that are maybe like, it's not what the packaging says it is.
Yeah. And it's hard for me to do this sometimes, because it's scared for me. I know it's not scared for me. I am scared to ask sometimes, because I'm just like, oh, I don't want to bother anybody. I don't want to put anybody out. I don't want anybody to see that, like, or think that it's not worth it, or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable, because I'm always usually everybody's first. so, but I just would have never thought of that, asking those questions in those different ways. And yeah, it just really makes me think that, yeah, maybe there is a different opportunity in it and still being able to go, but yet, because the pilgrimage is more like, it is just like to feed my soul and give me, all about my depression. It was about not being authentic, and that's what I had to heal from. Stop being a people pleaser, stop doing everything everybody else, stop being a perfectionist, and be authentic. And that is what my wake-up call is. That's why I had the depression. That's what it was teaching me. So all that work was trying to be authentic to myself and just finding my roots and really searching that out. And like, I'm starting to really do that right now, and just like curious, like, okay, what's what is my soul? Where was it, in the past, my ancestors, like, what's calling to me? Because I'm just trying to put those pieces together. And that would be like, just, I can't even tell you, like, going to Ireland. It's been a dream for a long time.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Okay.
I like it. And it's okay to add, you're taking up space when you email someone and say, hey, I really love this, but the whole package isn't in the cards right now. Is there an opportunity for a volunteer? Or, do you need a go-to assistant who is just there to do whatever needs to be done the day before? That's you saying, I'm important. I can take up space. I can ask for what I need. And maybe visualize too that there's some little leprechauns out there looking for pots of gold to bring it into you. And
and it's like at a special time too. It's during Beltane in Ireland. I mean, could you imagine being there at that point? And I'm just all about blooming and blossoming and just the rebirth, and just to be there during that time seems so special. So, but yeah, as of right now, the cost, I mean, I just can't justify.
One last thing, and then I'll get your feedback and then we'll wrap up. But as you were saying that, I also just got this idea. I don't know if you would do this publicly, but people do crowdfunding for things. I was picturing like a baby shower, but not for a baby, but for you, like like a baby birth shower, birthday. Do people want to contribute to my pilgrimage? It's possible some people would. And I also love the idea. So that might be another thing, is seeing, are there people who support you, who are in your business circle, in your personal circle? Could you create some birthday blossoming bundle that's special, that only that money is for this trip? That might be fun. So yeah. Okay, well, I have another call coming up soon, but I want the viewers to hear from you regarding it's good for somebody who's not in this to know, like, what is your assessment in terms of, did you get anything helpful out of our time today? Did it feel that any of it was accurate and or resourceful, supportive? Tell them what you think.
No, I think it was wonderful. I think just having the different situations being validated and you picking up on it, like, and like those are the things, all these things are like, is what's sitting with me right now, that I, wasn't necessarily like saying like, oh, please bring it up, but it's just part of what's within me right now. And just your ability to be able to pick up on that was just spot on, because that's where I'm at right now. So so thank you. And just having that validation and that support is wonderful.
You're welcome. Well, you've done a lot, and I know it's not easy to have family where you want it to be different and it's not different. When any one of us deals with a loss that we just wish it would have been different, it is heartbreaking. So send you lots of love because I know that's a process. And you've already gone through some processes.
Yes, I'm working
so
on it.
it's
I'm in the process. So. I
Yes.
just want to be on the other side, but I know it's not that easy. I have to do the work to
Yes.
get there, and that's okay.
Yeah. And maybe the new work is play for a little while.
Yes.
I love that you took a day for yourself. So
Yes.
yeah, well, wonderful. As I said, I'll send you this recording. If you want to book a session with me in the future, if you feel like this would be
Mhm.
supportive, I'd love to see you again, and
Yeah.
keep me posted if you
Yes.
start finding ways to make
Yes.
the Ireland trip happen, because I'm putting out those vibes.
Yes, put out the vibes.
I want the Ireland trip to happen for you.
Yes.
I am a psychic who helps people in business who understands business. And what I can tell you is if there are 5 things or 6 things that you're considering doing in your business and you wish you knew which ones not to do, together we can tune in and eradicate 3 to 5 of those. So you only have 1 or 2 things to focus on. Imagine the massive amount of time and energy and wondering this could save you. If you could just commit to the thing because you know that this is what's totally aligned with you and your business right now and this time, that moves you forward. That gives you so much action to pour into your business. Now, if you listen, there's a playlist. You can look at other sessions that clients have had, and you'll notice time and time again, they get 1 to 2 to 3 specific areas that are green lights for them to work on in their business. Things that they can really focus on that are definitely going to help them. Occasionally, they also get the clarity on don't do these other things. It's not going to work for you. It's not in your best interest right now. And how beautiful is it in this time and world of so many choices, so many options, to already have it narrowed down to these are things to focus on. These are things that are not going to work for you. And to have that extra bit of confidence, that stamp of approval saying, this also feels internally aligned. So not only are you thinking it, but this is what I'm reading from your energy field, from spirit, from the infinite field of possibilities that is maximally aligned for your potential. That's what makes life and business so much fun. So I am really looking forward to our first session together. May it be the first of many. Go ahead. There's the booking link below. See you soon.